Let me talk about the Personal Data Protection Act, uh, which has been implemented in India. Okay, I think there are many discussions, many training programs. There are many relative bodies who are actually propagating this and trying to educate the people across. Okay, as these data protection acts are already prevalent out India since many years, and they are very strict in complying to all these things. Okay, ideally there is a value of individuals outside India. Here in India, as we have too much of a population, so the value of individuals are very less. However, it is a good initiative from the government bodies to bring in the Data Protection Act uh, in a stage where already individual informations are out, leaked out, or already shared among different data agencies, and it is available in the public domain. Okay. However, to start with, when you are talking about DPDP or PDPA earlier, okay, so it is more of a personal data protection where the first thing is protecting the data of the individual employees working in the organization is the first part. So every organization should ensure that whosoever is working as an employee or whosoever is working as their vendors, subcontractors, okay, the information of that particular individual protected, okay, and it is not leaked through the organization route. It may be already out in public domain through some other route that might have shared, but not through the organization way. Okay, this is number one. The second is if that organization is already working in a place, I mean, in a space where it is more of a B2C kind of environment. Okay. Where you are directly in touch with the individual customers or consumers whose information you are accepting and saving it, and there should be a consent when you are actually taking in the data, ensuring to tell them that for what purpose you are collecting this kind of information, and giving them an assurance that the data won't be leaked through our organization. Okay. All those measures should be taken. So if I take an example, generally it happens it can happen for e-commerce organizations, it can happen for banking, BFSI organizations, and organizations like us where we have an entity which is the utility side. It may be a power sector or a water sector where you are directly in touch with the consumers who are consuming electricity or who are consuming water. You have a metered connection. So as rule, you need to take a couple of data from the consumers. It may be his name, Aadhaar number, his email ID, his mobile number, many other things, because that's mandatory. Okay. So once you take it, you need to tell them that yes, this is the reason we are taking. Okay. And we need to save and store it. It's just not by saving or storing it for the sake of storing. Ideally, for to have a good communication with those consumers, to give them the best of the experience, this data of his will be in some or other application or connected to some kind of this database. Okay, so we need to tell them that suppose a person wants to know his consumer number. Okay, people generally don't remember. So the ideal way he connects with the organization is by telling that this is my mobile number, or if it's self-help kind of a portal, he punches in the mobile number and it shows. So we are actually utilizing his personal data somewhere other in the application. Okay, but we should ensure that that is saved or is not leaked out, because once he enters his mobile number, his entire consumer details might get flashed. Okay, so it may be a third party also. If suppose I know Supriya's mobile number, I want to get other details, I go to the self-help portal, I punch in the mobile number, because I know your number and I get all your details. That is your email ID. Okay. How do we ensure there is a security factor? So that may be a integration which needs to be done. So if I just know your mobile number, that won't help me, because OTP or something will reach the consumer's mobile number only. So all those checks and balances should ensure that data is not leaked outside. So, or there should not be any kind of a ransomware attack in our entire system where I'm showing the data and it doesn't get leaked. So ideally, this is, I think, this is what I think currently in India, which organizations are working on, okay, because it's more of a individual's personal data which we need to save. Okay. So that's what I can do, because the rest, everything is available on the public domain. It may be a data, it may be all those kind of policies, what will be the penalty if you don't abide to all these things. Everybody knows it and people are getting educated.
You mentioned the data is already everywhere, right? So what are some of the challenges that organizations will face while deploying this Data Protection Act? I mean, what do you anticipate? Because there is a fine of 250 crore and upward, for a data breach and things like that. So in the wake of data already being all over the place, what are some of the challenges that organizations may face while deploying this?
Challenge is nothing, because everybody knows here that my data, suppose if I take my case, my data is there in the public. How do I blame it? Suppose some utility takes in my data, okay, and says that I'm taking your data because I'm giving you a connectivity of some kind of a thing, okay. Number one, how do I prove that it has leaked through that particular route, okay? Because number one, if nothing was there on the public domain, yes, I can file a case that I have given to organization A my data, and suddenly I see people are there in the public place but I myself, I have given it to many places since many years, because my email ID, my mobile number, my details, it's not today, last year which has happened. It is there for the last couple of decades. So it is already there. When I'm ordering something on the e-commerce sites, it may be an e-commerce site, I see suddenly advertisement on Facebook, I suddenly see an advertisement on Insta that somebody selling some good t-shirts. I liked it, okay. So they take all the details from me, but no one there is asking for any kind of a consent that when you are taking, because the person is also very much excited that, yeah, I have to buy this t-shirt, it is a wonderful t-shirt. So I fill all my data, my name, mobile number, email ID, address, everything I do, without seeing that people are not actually asking for any kind of a consent, that for what purpose they are taking it, should they take it. So I myself am giving my personal data to everywhere, and also it is asking that can we save it for future transactions, and people say yes, because people don't want to fill up the entire data again, okay. So they take all these shortcut routes. So if it's a pure personal data, I think what organization they should only consider about that. They should have a proper process, okay, that how they are taking the data, in what way are they taking the data, the policies which they implement internally, so that there is no kind of a data leakage from my part. Kind of time, if there is a forensic investigation done, it should be ensured that it is not leaked out through this particular route. So when, for example, we are actually taking data from our consumers, okay, who are trying to come into the water billing network, asking for a meter, the application which is there, we ensure that it is totally encrypted. The data encryption is there. Okay, so when my field executive goes with the mobile app to the doorstep service, because we have a house service connection, also doorstep service connection. Okay, so when he's taking the information, okay, from that particular person in that particular mobile app, and also scanning the mandatory documents, it may be his electricity bill or it may be his Aadhaar or whatever, it is ensured that particular data resides in that particular application and it cannot be leaked out from that particular application, number one. The entire data is pushed to the servers. Okay, we have to ensure that there is a security factor which we should ensure that this data doesn't get leaked. That's the only thing what I think, because till date, you just tell me, how can I prove that the data which I have given is leaked from organization A, or somebody goes to the dark web and finds out that leakage from that particular organization, my data. That's the only way people can find out. Rest, I think there is no other way they can find out. Okay, so organization should ensure how you are accepting the data, how to have total security encryption so that it is not leaked out just by sharing that data through a mobile application or from the server. And also we have a total data security, because more than personal data, organizations have been managing the data of the enterprise business, okay, to ensure that there are no attacks or which is happening from external. So yes, one layer of security definitely has to be there. Yes.
Very, very pertinent points again, Prasenjit. And one other aspect that I'd like to learn from you is the fact that balancing these data protection laws, I mean, be it DPDPA or GDPR or whoever, with AI, right? AI needs all kinds of data to to ensure its full potential. But aren't these laws sort of forbidding AI from exploring its full potential by putting a sort of brake on the kind of data that is being fed into the AI systems?
I don't think much has been covered on the AI part, okay, because now each and every organization, because of agility in the business, to move ahead in the competition, to have a larger wallet share in the market, everybody is now talking and trying to bring in such kind of digital platforms which has AI built up in this. Okay? Now, when we are talking about AI, suppose the same thing, we have the data of the consumers with us, we are trying to safeguard that data. But now we are trying to also do some kind of activity where we, using AI, we are trying to find out many things and where the consumer data is involved. Okay, now it totally depends on how you are implementing it. Okay, are you using a SaaS-based platform, okay, or you are developing it in-house through some organization? Where is the AI? Because you don't have a control. Now AI, your own data will definitely be shared across. You don't know that if that particular AI, what you are, because it is a consuming data, it is trying to throw insights using your own data. Now, where sharing that entire data, where it is hosted, okay, all those things definitely needs to be taken care. Okay, if it is mentioned in the act or not, but then when I say that I ensure that the consumer data or any kind of organization data, personal data, we need to safeguard. We need to ensure all those checks also. Okay, like where is hosting? Either we have some kind of NDA or some kind of agreement with the body with whom we are working, where they are thinking. Suppose if you talk about now AI platform like ChatGPT now, and ChatGPT specifically for your own organization is. Are these data being shared outside in the okay, so all those things needs to be taken care of. That's what I said, that it is a part of a policy which you bring in. Okay, that one area we say that we are trying to safeguard, and the other area we are trying to implement some new age technology, and we are missing out that data might be leaking out through that particular route. So yes, implementing Gen AI is a thing which we need to think of, which we need to think that it does not. Rather whenever we're trying to implement any kind of a Gen AI project, the security area generally we should not miss out. This is a very, very important part. Okay, because people in their thrill to bring in a new technology, they forget that part of the story. But I think this is very much important, that how I am securing my data when I am using any kind of AI or Gen AI platform. Okay, It's very much important. So that thing needs to be taken care of.
Absolutely, Prasenjit. And it was wonderful hearing your views. So, considering everything that we've discussed, right, I'd like to sort of take your tips, for organizations. I mean, you're a thought leader who's been in the industry for, nearly 3 decades. And we discussed data protection, we discussed data security, and the implementation of Gen AI. So, keeping these aspects in mind, what are the tips that you'd like to give organizations, to imbibe all these 3 aspects that we're talking about?
In fact, I have already spoken earlier here. Like, first thing, if it is personal data protection, what we need to look into. Number one, when we are collecting a data, we need to ensure that first is the consent, what we need to take, and telling the people that for what purpose I'm taking this data. That is really, because suppose if I'm in HR also, if a new employee joins, okay, do we ask him that I'm taking all your data because you are one of the employees and this we'll be using it, okay? This first thing, a form kind of a thing which he needs to give a consent. That I think none of the HR organizations are doing it in any organization, okay? The second thing is, how do I protect that data, okay? Maximum places, if it is a HR software, people use a SaaS-based platform nowadays, new age, all the platforms of HR is all SaaS-based, okay? Do we already have a kind of a legal contract that, fine, this is my data, and ensuring that, because they are the data custodian, okay? So do we have it? I don't think none of the organizations have gone to that. In our organization only, we are using a HRMS platform, which is a SaaS-based platform. And this has been used for the last 5 years. But after the Protection Act, we have not actually gone back to them and said that, yes, this needs to be protected. This is my employee data, okay? I ensure that it is not leaking from my environment, but as this is hosted from somewhere else, what happens if that gets leaked out? Number one is this. Second thing is, if I am in a business where I have to have a individual consumer kind of interaction, collection of the data and everything, to ensure that again I consent. The second thing is, when you are collecting the data through some kind of application, okay, how much of data protection you have on that particular low native application, how the data, when the data is moving from the application to my core server, when data is in motion. And the third thing is how I'm protecting that data when it is at rest server, or when I'm using it through some kind of a customer relevant application. So all those checks and balances, authentications, and on top of this, we definitely need to have a policy defined. Okay, what should be the policies? Because without a policy guideline, I think and policy guideline should adhere to the act. Okay, keeping in mind the penalty and everything. Okay, it should be that. So I think these are the things is my question, or these are the tips which I want to share for all organizations when it is a data protection. For enterprise business data, I think people have taken all kind of measures, and there's a continuous process, okay, of bringing in different kind of measures, okay. And when you are bringing edge technologies like Gen AI or whatever, ensure that again you have a agreement or a contract signed with that particular partner with whom you are implementing it, or where you are hosting it, that data is not leaked out, or what Gen AI is trying to share everywhere. So those things should be taken care of. Okay. The rest, I think, I said that if it is specific to person data protection, unless somebody proves that it is leaked out from your organization, everything is there. So these are my views. With my experience, what I've been working for a couple of years on data protection, and because apart from this, there are larger views on internet which people can read and get it, but they're specific to my views and where I'm trying to work out for my organizations, so that what minimum I can do to protect the data of my employees and my consumers.
Right. Thank you so much, Prasenjit.
Yeah.